She's 40-1 for the Mares Novices Hurdle. I think, off her reputation and whispers, she should be a little bit shorter. Hello and welcome along to the Let's Talk Racing YouTube channel in association with Racing TV. I thoroughly enjoyed Andrew and Gavin's video this week. It was brilliant watching them on my trip, kept me well up to date with everything that's going on, and also Gavin's just an absolute legend, and I'm sure you'll all agree that you'd rather him on the channel than me. But in this video I'm going to be talking you through some exciting horses that I think you should be aware of with a view to Cheltenham. Nope. Not the Cheltenham November meeting, Cheltenham in March. I've gone completely mental. I've gone mental on my travels. But over the last few years, I've been mentioning horses this time of year, and I've had decent success, especially targeting those novice races, targeting the Champion Bumper, and the likes of Facile Vega when he won the Champion Bumper, Quilixios when he won the Triumph Hurdle, Vauban when he won the Triumph Hurdle, Jazzy Matty was mentioned at the start of the season. He was mentioned as a Triumph Hurdle horse, but he went on to win the Boodles, and Margeborough as well last year in the Triumph Hurdle, have had some near misses as well of Romeo Coolio, American Mike, and a few others. And I think I've got a decent strike rate when it comes to picking out those horses, and I think that probably comes from a mixture between hearing bits and bobs through work, hearing bits and bobs when you're reading stuff and whatnot. And I've compiled a list for this video where I'm going to chat you through 5 or 6 horses that I think could be of interest with a view to Cheltenham in 6 months' time, 5 months' time. It's absolutely bonkers, but I do hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to fire through them as quickly as possible because I don't want to keep you waiting as long as I can. But these horses are young horses who we've not seen run under the rules, possibly seen them run once under the rules, that I think could have dramatic improvement with a view to Cheltenham races. And I will talk you through the Cheltenham races at all. But all the support on this video would be wonderful. Very much appreciative of all the support that we've had over this season so far. By far the best season we've had to date with regards to response early on in the season. So it's been absolutely magical, and thank you very much for all of that. But the first one, I'm going to talk you through 2 Champion Bumper horses, possible Champion Bumper horses. Now, I do want to say these horses might not be seen this season. These horses might not end up in these races, but they're all double-figure prices. They're all big prices, and I do think that could be of interest come March. The first one is Final Demand. He's a 5-year-old. He's 25-1 for the Champion Bumper, and he's trained by Willie Mullins. What's interesting about him is he was a €230,000 store purchase in 2022. He won a point-to-point at Lingstown, very impressively by 6 lengths, the form of which can be questioned, but he was in a league of his own that day. And the interesting part about him is he's bought privately by 2 very prominent British owners in Brian Drew, Brave Man's Game, his silks, and Caroline Tisdale. I think you'd probably know her from Del Arca, an absolute legend of the game, Del Arca, bought for big money privately, and all the rumours are this horse could be pretty good. Now, Willie Mullins isn't scared of running a 6-year-old in the Champion Bumper. He's even ran, I think, Appreciate It as a 6-year-old in the Champion Bumper. This horse might go hurdling. I do not know that at all. But I would possibly say, given he's only run in a point-to-point, that he could go down the bumper route. And I do think that he was sold, I think the rumours, for over €400,000 privately. He's showing all the right signs at home, and I just get a real feeling that they're very excited about Final Demand. He's 25-1 for the Champion Bumper. The next horse I think you need to be looking at with regards to bumpers is a horse who I've spoken about a couple of times now, and that is Jack's Hill, a 4-year-old trained by Gordon Elliott and owned by Jigginstown. They absolutely love him. I get the impression that he's the most exciting horse they've had in the yard since Brighter Days Head first came through. By famous name, which wouldn't be a very popular jump sire, probably done much better on the flat. He sired Escobar, who I think got up to 113 on the flat, but Kieran Fennessy bought him as a €13,000 store, managed to flip him around for €310,000 after winning a point-to-point very impressively. That was a Goff's Punchestown Sale maiden, and he was favourite, so they clearly fancied him. He clearly showed lots of ability at home, and he's definitely showing that at Caluntra. I think they've got a plethora of really exciting horses, a few bumper winners, the likes of those Down Royal bumper winners, He Can't Dance, Classical Creek. They've also got one called Kale So Chance and Tamush as well, a couple of exciting young horses. But Marjax Hill at this moment in time, I can tell you, is in a league of his own at Caluntra. They're very, very excited about him, and he could be their champion bumper horse. He's 33-1 for the race. I have had a nibble myself. I think that he is very, very interesting, and I always respect it. Although they don't win the champion bumper every year, American Mike was a big price at the start of the season when he finished second. Last year, Romeo Coolio, they absolutely loved him. He finished second as well. And they definitely have lots of exciting young horses at the yard. So it doesn't surprise me that he could be one to be very excited about this season. Now moving on to a different race, and we're going to look at the Triumph Hurdle. Obviously, Willie de Hugh for Rich Ritchie is the main talking point. He's very exciting. He's 6-1 for a Triumph Hurdle at this moment in time, which is crazy considering we've not even had the Cheltenham November meeting. But I've got a horse who could be similar mould to, say, a Jazzy Matty. I'm not sure he might be top class where he could go and win a Triumph Hurdle, but he could be one to think about with regards to Boodles. And you never know, if he's a bit better than they think he is, he could develop into a Triumph Hurdle horse. And that is a horse called Wendrock. He's 66-1 for the Triumph Hurdle. I don't know what the price he is for the Boodles. I'm not sure there's a market for that race yet. But he sold to Gordon Elliott from Lucinda Russell. Interestingly, ran on the flat for Lucinda Russell, finished third in an Ascot maiden. I think the second and the first have both won or ran extremely well since. They're flatbred, John Gosden trained, William Haggis trained, and Wendrock managed to finish third. It was a really good run at Ascot, and he really looked like a Gordon Elliott horse, the way that they presented him that day, and he really looked like, I don't know, I can't describe it. Go back and watch it. He looked like a Gordon Elliott horse. No surprise that Gordon's picked him up. I think they paid in the region of £85,000 for him, which is not that expensive in comparison to a lot of these that I'm going to talk about. And I actually did find out that the person who sold Wendrock to Gordon Elliott thought he got a good deal. He thought that £85,000 might be a good price for him. He might not be massively exciting down the line, but Gordon Elliott team definitely don't think that. They think Wendrock could be very exciting indeed. So Wendrock is 66-1 for a Triumph Hurdle. He's a juvenile that you need to keep on side, Wendrock. Now, moving on to the Mares Novices Hurdle. I've got two for you, two at big prices. The one that you may have heard of, and that's Qualamita, trained by Gordon Elliott, 33-1 for the race. Now, I know that Gordon's not going to win every race at the Cheltenham Festival, but these could be interesting horses. 33-1. She had one run in a listed race at Navan behind a Gavin Cromwell winner who was very impressive. That was a good while ago after she won a point-to-point, very impressively sold for €500,000. I think she's the most expensive point-to-point winning mare ever sold. And she then had a massive break. Apparently she's turned inside out physically. They're so excited about her. She's 33-1 for the race. I think she could be of interest as well. She's definitely better than what she's shown on the track on her first start, and I think that she was probably a big baby then, has physically matured, and they're very excited about her. So Qualamita at 33-1, and then another one is Risca Bahia, mentioned by Joan Chambers, the racing manager to Rich Ritchie, trained by Willie Mullins, owned by Rich Ritchie. I think she is showing all the right signs, and I think they've got high hopes for her as well. She's 40-1 for the Mares Novices Hurdle. I think, off her reputation and whispers, she should be a little bit shorter than that, and there could be a bit of value in 40-1. She won a race over in France. She beat a horse called Korea, who Willie Mullins has since purchased. Hasn't done too well on two starts for Willie Mullins, but they were excited about the winner, Risca Bahia. She could be one to note with regards to the Mares Novices Hurdle. And the final one is one, again, a horse who I've spoken about lots. And I'm going to actually say that he could be a Ballymore horse, and that's Kopek de Board, or Kopek de Board. 25-1 for the Ballymore as we speak. I think that's a big price, and I have backed him for the race myself. Has ran once for Willie Mullins at the Fairyhouse Easter Festival last year. Beat Clap of Thunder, which won an Ascot Novices Hurdle the other day. I think they believe Clap of Thunder is Nigel's most exciting young horse in that yard to this day. He was very disappointing at Chep, so it cost me a few quid. But Kopek de Board genuinely ate him up and spat him out on debut. It was so impressive. You need to go back and watch it. Honestly, he was frighteningly good, and Patrick had ultimate confidence the whole way around. Almost not dropped him in, but a lot of Patrick's bumper horses, he likes to go on or definitely make use of their stamina. Now, Clap of Thunder made it a real end-to-end gallop. he just sat still on Copec de Board. He knew he was going to pick him up, and he did. And he went and won, I think, 12 lengths, ultra impressively. And what's interesting, spoke to his owners, I don't think he'd done much work going into that. I think with regards to Willie Mullins' other bumper winners, especially at those big races, I think they do a little bit more work, a bit more fast work. He didn't have any of that, and he was very, very impressive. So I think there could be, and that could be an indication that there's more to come as well. So Copec de Board, 25-1. I think that when he goes and wins his maiden hurdle, which he will, that could be over 2, but I think he's a stayer, and I think he could be of the mould of a Ballyburn, that kind of real, seriously top class 2.5 mile Novice Hurdle winner. I like the word winner. But he also didn't go to the champion bumper. You don't need to go to the champion bumper to be a top class horse. Dysart Dynamo didn't, Ballyburn didn't, and they were both seriously good novice hurdlers. Copec de Board, I think, is the next one, and I keep seeing him crop up in Willie Mullins stable tour pieces. I know that Fran Berry, a colleague at Racing TV, went to interview Willie Mullins. I think it was for the Sporting Life at his yard. He got a selfie with him. But those little things, if they're going to be speaking highly of a horse, Fran Berry wouldn't be going and taking a selfie with a random horse that he thought was no good, especially when he's only had one run. So I would actually read into a little bit of that. I think Willie Mullins had probably pointed him in that direction. So Copec de Board for me, 25-1 for the Ballymore, I think could be very interesting. I think he's top class. I think he is a Grade 1 novice hurdler. But there you go. They're my 5 horses that could be of interest with regards to a Cheltenham Festival race. That's Final Demand and Marjack's Hill for a champion bumper. Wendrock, maybe not a Triumph Hurdle horse, but he could be one that you should have a look out for a Boodles or something like that. He's exciting. Qualameter, Riska here for the Mares Novices, 33-1 and 40-1, and Copec de Board at 25-1 for the Ballymore. I really like him. He could be the one horse I'm most looking forward to this season. I think I've said that a couple of times, and I agree with it. He is very, very exciting. Now, if you found this video somewhat of value or somewhat entertaining, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel below. If you didn't, fair enough, let me know down below. I look forward to reading those comments. I'll see you soon.